for sure, for sure.
Alright, so I have the random switch set. If you have your stage on random, if you just want to get some variety.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep mine random.
But quick thought, what do you think? What would you say your biggest weakness or thing that you're struggling with the most is as of right now? Like a specific area of your play, if you could.
I mean, I feel like it's just my mentality of playing because like going against, like I'm not saying this was the reason why I lost against you on your stream, but just going against somebody who's like streaming or then somebody that I haven't like played before, I tend to feel like I have to play perfect because I want to win every single like time. I want to play the best I can, and when I get into that mentality, I realize when I'm making mistakes, and then I kind of just start dropping combos. I get nervous more.
Gotcha,
So it's more trying to overcome this mentality of having fun versus trying to play perfect and win every match, you know?
I see what you mean, and that's something that I've struggled with myself, and I found that over time it's like, you know, I'm playing someone and I'm making a lot of tech errors and I'm getting flustered, and it's like, okay, I gotta play perfect or else I'll lose. It's like, yes, you want to play as good as you can, but at the same time, if you're making those errors, right, those are usually coming from nerves or some less direct like thing you can influence, right? But there's still a lot of other things in your play where you were in control and you still made a bad decision. So those where you have those things that you can fix with nerves and such over time, there's a lot of areas in your play where you can go, okay, you know, I shouldn't have just dodged here to begin with. I shouldn't have thought that that was safe. And then you can kind of fix those areas, and then you're essentially fixing two things. Because one, the more you play, the more comfortable you're going to be. And two, since you're working on those areas of your play that were already kind of like questionable on average, like it's not because you're nervous or anything. When you finally break the nerves, you're not only going to be playing better there, but also just have a lot more consistent decision making overall. So really, it's just like kind of reassuring yourself that, like, yeah, all right, I'm a little flustered right now, I'm nervous, I want to play good, but understanding that you can't play perfect all the time. And that's something that, you know, I've struggled with a lot over time, just like making sure that like my hands are working as good as possible, because I struggle with hand issues, so sometimes, like, you know, the misinputs can get kind of crazy on my end, and it definitely got inside my head a bit more than I would prefer.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you, man. Yeah, turning around with that move also kills me a lot.
Oh yeah, whenever I do play Ivysaur, like it's not uncommon for me to end up like accidentally messing up my V reverse or turn around on it.
Like once you do it once, then it gets in your head.
Yep. Yep. And with a lot of things like that, just kind of like slowing it down and taking a second to collect yourself can help a lot. Like, because you'll get flustered once and then you're like, oh, I need to, you know, pick it up right now and start playing good. It's like, yeah, you do. But you can't. I found, at least over years, that the human body is really bad at maintaining composure as stress level rises, right? Like, you get flustered, the adrenaline gets pumping, and you're like, okay, realistically, I should be focused, dialed in, whatever, but the opposite happens. You get more prone to messing up. You get more prone to getting punished. So you kind of have to take the initiative on your end and go, okay, I need to take a step back and decompress and let myself kind of let myself reset and go, okay, I'm messing up here. That doesn't mean I'm going to lose right now. I just lost an interaction or two. So let me see if I can maybe retreat, play a little bit more defensive, and let myself like reset. And then I have all the room in the world and time to outplay my opponent again. And then my one or two you know, mess ups don't cost me as big as they are, because I'm constantly trying to essentially band-aid fix it by, you know, forcing myself to play good and trying to do more than I'm actually earning in this instance.
Yeah. Just kind of like resetting your mindset.
Yeah, yeah, and with certain characters, I know with Pokemon Trainer, you have a little bit of leeway in how, like, you know, you can like swap out of certain combos with a trainer or stall a little bit off stage, so that's really good for you. Because as someone like Olimar, when I play, it's like I have a very difficult disadvantage state. So sometimes if I'm not on top of it, I just get punished and I give my opponents like free stocks. So I've had to really buckle down on making sure that I get hit, and I'm like, okay, I messed up here, but I gotta like recognize that if I keep trying to push in like that, I'm going to die. Like I'm gonna lose my stock, and I'm gonna give them way more than they're actually earning.
It's actually, that helps me a lot playing Olimar too.
Yeah.
I kind of like pick him up playing like just as a different play style almost than Pokemon Trainer for matchups that like I can't just rush in.
Yeah.
And then like I've noticed that when I get in a disadvantage state with him, it's just so hard to come back. Like,
It's very brutal.
He has a really strong advantage where I'll deal like 100 and I won't even realize it, but then I'll just like take 100 and I have no idea what to get back.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the golden ticket, so to speak, for every Olimar player. It's like, how can we play this character and not like lose off of like one interaction, right? So that's something that myself and I think every other Olimar really out there is trying to crack, and I've had to really buckle down on it as of late and go, okay, I'm getting hit here. Let me recognize that I got hit. You know, maybe swap my DI up, do something to where when I get hit, like, it's okay. You have to accept that there are combos that you're gonna get hit with, but DI out, retreat away, focus on getting my ground as opposed to counterattacking because I finally feel like I have an opening. Because you have a lot of leeway with someone like Olimar in terms of whistle, air dodge, up B. Like, yeah, it's not perfect by any means, but it's not, like, bad. It's not, or I don't want to say it's not bad, 'cause it's definitely bad, but it's not, like, undoable. Like, you just don't have an option. And a lot of it's on the player, because when you play someone like Olimar, you kind of realize that most of the times when you're losing, it's not because you get comboed 0 to 100. It's like you get hit, and then something happens, and it's like a little reset, and then you get hit again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until you finally die, or you get take all this percent. So it's those little, like, micro interactions where there are room for you to outplay your opponent. There's room for you to make a call. Oftentimes, the Olimar player will make the wrong call, and it's giving them much more damage, putting them in a bad spot. But if you take more time and you're able to really evaluate things, you go, okay, I shouldn't swing here, or maybe I should just stay on the ledge a little bit longer, let yourself reset. You're going to be a lot more focused, and that's going to throw your opponent off a lot.
Okay. So just mixing up timings, essentially?
Honestly, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing with Olimar especially. You can do it with all characters, but since he doesn't have, like, a super good button to just, like, fly into people and force them to respect him,
how would you land with Olimar when you're in the air?
it depends on the character I'm fighting. Neutral air dodge is really good. Like, fast fall, neutral air dodge. Sometimes you can also land with the dare. If you're on a stage with, like, a platform or something like Battlefield, you can try, like, landing on the platform with, like, a dare because it pokes through it. Sometimes I'll whistle on top of them. It really all depends. It's just trying to mix up the few options you do have. And then even times, like, if I'm not confident that I can land, I'll just go for the ledge. Like, I'll work my way over there or something. Or I'll up B past them and just try and use, like, get them in a way that they can't always catch me. But for the yeah, for the nerves thing, it's just you have to constantly, like, put yourself in that that zone where you're uncomfortable. You have to get out of that, but also take the initiative to improve upon it. Because if you just keep putting yourself in there, but, like, don't force yourself to kind of improve and hold yourself accountable for your missteps, then you're just always going to be in that spot. Because every time you're getting in there, you're kind of going to already give up by the time you're in there, right? You're going to be like, oh, no, I'm fighting, you know, Myron or whatever on stream. I have to win, and then you're going to lose. But if you're like, all right, I'm fighting Myron on stream, it's okay if I lose. Like, yeah, I don't want to. No one wants to lose, but you have to kind of just accept it sometimes.
Yeah, playing a player with, like, more caliber, more time put in.
Like, when I would go into big tournaments, right? Like, I'll fight, you know, these other really great players who are projected to win, and it's like, yeah, I know they're good, but I also know what I can do, and I'm gonna try my best. And if I lose, yeah, it sucks. Like, there's no, like, oh, okay, I feel good losing, but you have to build off of that and then make sure you're better for next time. Because it's not like you're going to lose once and that's the end of it. Like, you'll never play again, you know? So what are some characters you generally struggle with?
Playing against.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't play against a variety of characters. Like I kind of play just a lot of friendlies. So like the characters that I play mostly are like a Ganondorf. I play a Mega Man a lot. But
Okay.
like if I have to go against like people I don't know, I would say I kind of struggle with like these characters that do a lot of simple things like Zelda and
Like a,
stuff.
like a
Just because
really
I
like
can,
one-dimensional strategy, but it's really annoying to get around.
yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I find.
I also
Sorry, go on.
sorry, I do really bad against Soides, ironically. Because just the way I like playing, I like rushing down heavily and going in your face, and then like when you can outrange me, like it kind of gets really difficult to get in, you know?
Yeah, I find well, I mean, you definitely like have safe pressure, depending on which character you're playing and then things like that, so you can do it. But if you're gonna run in like that, you know, sometimes if you can anticipate their counterattack, you can one parry it and then try and get a punish. Because as you're running in, you're gonna try and space for that. You're pretty much spacing for your punish out of the parry. But also you can use like the high mobility of someone like Squirtle to go in and out and then whiff punish or something like Charizard, where you can, you know, run forward F tilt, and that gives you a little bit more leeway because you have some space of your own. Like, playing aggro is a good thing, but you have to understand that you want to, how do I put it? Like, even the most aggro players in the world will camp eventually, right? They will play defensively when they know they need to. And that's important because you don't want to play just aggro all the time, or you're going to put yourself in a spot where you run the risk of getting, like, over-aggressive and giving up more than you need to. Like, you're going to give your opponent an opening when they didn't have one.
Yeah.
So, like, you can definitely maintain, like, a more aggro playstyle, but just recognize that sometimes you gotta reel it back and take a little bit of time. Or even, like, slow down the aggression, right? Like, it doesn't mean you have to run from them. Maybe sit, like, in the mid-range and then kind of feel them out and see how you can get them to commit first.
Sure. That's like frame 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frame 1 in the air, and it's frame 4 invincibility on the ground. But I'll try and pay attention these next few games, especially to like where I feel like your overall play is kind of lacking. I definitely think like you're going in and you're trying to play aggressive, but like you said, you're getting caught with my range. Like I use my sword swipes to catch you before you're on top of me, and that's where you might need to come at an angle where I'm a little bit harder to catch. Like if I'm going down tilting a lot, try and catch me from above or something like that, or run in if you can and parry, or let me hit you with something that's not super safe. Like if you're playing a character like Charizard, you've got a pretty good out of shield game. So if I do like a bad jab or a bad tilt or something up close, then you know that's a free up smash potentially.
I didn't think I was gonna make that. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna make that either.
Every time I go that way, I'm not doing it on purpose, by the way.
Oh, the FD.
Hitting you is totally an accident.
Well, if it works, it works.
Right? I also, for whatever reason, like, as my Charizard got better, I've noticed, like, my Ivysaur has gotten a lot worse.
It might not be so. I'm definitely not a Pokemon trainer player myself, but as someone who has, you know, played the character casually and stuff, there are days where I feel like I'm just straight up better with one Pokemon than the other. Like, one day it'll be my Ivysaur's moving, the next day my Charizard's really good, and my Ivysaur feels like it's worse. And I think that's the natural, like, way that any character with multiple like characters in them, I guess, works, because you're playing 3 totally different characters at any given time. So kind of recognizing that, like, if your Charizard feels like it's better than everything else on one day, like, ask yourself why. What about it is feeling better? Like, are you landing more hits? Are you are you doing this better? And then try and look at what your other Pokemon aren't doing as well. Maybe you're struggling to land as many, like, up airs or something with Ivysaur. Then ask yourself, okay, well, why aren't the up airs working? I'm going for them. You have an idea of why they're gonna work, but clearly it's not working. So you can try and kind of reflect on that and go, well, what's happening there? And I think that would help you a lot, because then you're going to probably be able to come up with an answer that's a bit better. And then you'll have your Charizard, which is playing pretty good. You'll probably know why that's playing well, what you're doing well with that. And then if you can try and identify why the Ivysaur is struggling, you can kind of feed it all back in. And I think that's like what the best Pokemon trainers do, is they'll, everyone has their good and bad days, but they kind of know where their strengths lie in each Pokemon and what they can do with them. And that's why, like, I guess someone that comes to mind is like Tweak. Whenever you see him play Pokemon Trainer, he swaps a lot. And I think that's because he's trying to make the most out of any potential Pokemon at a moment, or see how it can kind of amplify his own play. Like, if Squirtle's better for something, he's gonna go Squirtle, but then he'll switch to Ivysaur real quick to get like a benefit out of it, and then try and switch back. And he probably has like a really good understanding of what to do at any given moment, or what he thinks he can do with each Pokemon. So you have to really like look inwards and kind of go, okay, why am I failing? What am I doing here that's not working?
That makes sense. Something you have to do with a lot of characters, like every character in general.
Yeah,
too.
you definitely want to have that self-reflection regardless. It's just with Trainer, you're gonna have to be a little bit more, I think, intense with it, just because you have 3 Pokemon there. Whereas if it was someone like Olimar, right, like, you're gonna need to know why something is or isn't working for sure. But once you figure that out, you kind of just go, right? Whereas with Trainer, it's like, okay, I know why I'm struggling with my Ivysaur right now, but there's more to it, because you also just don't play Ivysaur the whole game. It's like, I might know why my Ivysaur is doing it, but then I also might just need to go Charizard at a certain moment because he's better, even though, I figured out Ivysaur, right? Like, you're going to need to do essentially like 3 times the work in some cases to figure out all 3 characters. I honestly wasn't sure that was going to hit you, but I guess I caught you like right at the tip of it. Oh, shoot. Hey, you there?
Sorry.
You good?
My alarm went off, and then just like everything just dropped in the call.
Gotcha. No worries. We're back at it.
Set an alarm for like 12:47.
Yeah.
Our original was 1,
Yeah.
I think the thing that frustrates me most with playing Ivysaur is he just doesn't have a good like outer shield option.
Yeah, no, that is honestly one of his weaker areas. I mean, let me pull up his frame data real quick so I can give you an accurate answer on things. I know his grab is really bad because it's a frame 8 grab.
Yeah.
So that's generally not the play against a lot of. Where's Ivysaur at?
I mean, I typically would I have to like nair the shield.
Yeah, nair the shield I think is your fastest, and even then it's frame 10. It's it's about the same as like Olimar's. Same with back air. It's all right, but sometimes you're gonna have to realize that you just don't punish everything, right? So let's say I'm Lucina and I down tilt you, or like I forward air you, right? You don't punish that, and then I down tilt you. Okay, you might not punish that first down tilt, but what about the down tilt after that, right? Like if I go for like 2 down tilts, you know, there's gonna be some gap in there where you can try and do something, or you can potentially get away. You kind of have to understand when the opponent's pressure stops, so that you can find an opening in there. Because you can't like game and watch up B like the moment someone touches your shield once. And that's why it's like really important to kind of know what your opponent does, like generally how safe their moves are. You don't have to know an exact answer, but know like what your character can do in relation to them. So like when I play Olimar and I fight like an Ivysaur, I know that I can't punish his back air straight up, right? Like his back air is either -5 or -4 with Ivysaur. But if he does something after, you know, since he doesn't have the fastest startup, I can punish it.
I feel like just punching everything I do off a ledge.
What's up?
I feel like if I like whatever I do, and this is another habit I get into, to where if like they're continuously like punishing me, after like say I keep rolling and they keep punishing me, and I'll try and mix it up and they punish me. At that point, I'm just kind of like mentally defeated.
Well,
I don't really know how to get back up.
That's where one, trying to wait on the ledge or mixing up your timing can do a lot for you.
Work again. Oh my god.
Can do a lot for you because you're waiting on the ledge. So if they're trying to react, if you catch them off guard there, like it's gonna be really good because it's harder to react if you don't know when they're gonna act.
Yeah.
They're kind of left guessing, so that can do a lot of favors for you. But if they're catching your roll patterns, you really just do have to mix up. There's not like a secret thing that's just going to do it for you. And you kind of have to talk yourself through any of those scenarios and go, okay, yeah, it sucks, but you know, there's something I can do here that would be better, I think. Let me not give up. Like I always look at it like, if I'm not dead, then it doesn't matter.
That's good. That's good mindset.
Especially as someone who, you know, you have a character like Charizard in your character set, so if you get to 150 with rage, you can kill crazy early. So it's like you can look at it as like, okay, yeah, they hit me, that's fine. Well, why did they hit me there? What just happened? Did they read my roll? Did they punish me for staying on ledge too long? Take that and go, all right, well, what can I do next time? Maybe I should try and jump. Maybe I should drop down. Maybe I should wait and then roll and see what their spacing relative to the ledge is. But you have to talk yourself through those encounters so that you're trying to stay as in control as possible, and that you're not letting yourself kind of just fall into this defeatist attitude of like, okay, he just keeps reading me, I'm not gonna win, you know, like I don't know what to do here. Like, yeah, that'll happen, you know, people get in their heads, it's part of doing anything like this, but it's on you to like fight off that negative urge as much as possible. Oh, I didn't jump. That was when they space like that, like even though their move isn't directly safe because it's like Lucina up tilt, you kind of got to realize like, okay, I might not have the best option here. Let me just like wait or jump away or do something. And in your case, I think waiting was probably your best one because I went and prepared you after you shield grabbed.
I feel like another thing I kind of do wrong is like I know stuff that has worked, and like back up flare blitz, it's definitely not a true combo. There's no way that's true.
Doesn't
But I
matter if
still
it's
like
a true combo,
I
honestly.
fish for it a lot.
You don't? Okay, so I have a ton of like mix-ups as Olimar that catch people off guard. I back throw people at like low mid percent to jab lock because they missed the tech to kill them. I down smash. I purple side B, jab lock, down smash, jab lock, F smash, and I put 70 on people and kill them sometimes. Those aren't true. Like you can tech those tech scenarios. You don't want to like. I get you fish for it, but you kind of have to look for the times where you want to do it. Like if you don't have rage, you know, maybe it could work better because they're not expecting it, or you might not need to go for it here. But like instead of going for the back to a flare blitz, why not just go for back to back air? You know, it's way less committal, and that's kind of talking yourself through it and going, okay, I want this option, I can try and cheese them here, but also look at the circumstances in which they might be ready for it. Like if I'm fighting a Charizard and I'm beating them or something like that, or if I'm doing well, like I'm already assume they're gonna come down if I'm at a low percent and try some cheesy shit like that. Like it's at the high percents when I know they can't like do those back throw things, so I'm a little bit more conscious of other aspects to their play. So when you come down with Charizard, you can try, if you get a grab, but you could also just like come down and be like, okay, if I get a grab, I'll try it, but if not, then I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'll just outplay my opponent. I'll worry about using his other tools like the run up F tilt, you know, the aerials, things like that. But like you can definitely go for those things, even if they're not true, even if they're a gimmick, because they're gonna work. They only need to work one time in a set. And yeah, if it doesn't work, it sucks, but there's a reason they're there and why they work as much as they do.
I don't know how that hit you.
Went a little too high on my up B there. Thought I was gonna snap. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's tough.
But with how do I put it? You don't focus too much on like, at least I find that not focusing too much on like not going for certain things right out the get-go, right? Like if I go for like a double purple down smash, right, to break a shield, I know that it runs risk of not working, and if it doesn't work like once or twice when I try it, it's like I run up and I recognize that they're aware. I'll kind of take a step back and go, okay, let me retire that strategy real quick. Like, let me not worry about it. And then as the set goes on, like I might wait until we're in the heat of a moment. Like, you know, with Olimar, I've got a Pikmin on him, I've been pressuring or something. I haven't done it in forever, right? Like, I haven't really like tried to break their shield like that, and then I'll just run up and do it out of the blue. And I know it's a little bit easier with that because you don't have to like grab and then give them time to react and all that stuff. But you can try those things and then you just go, okay, it didn't work, and then you retire it after that for the time being. Because if you force it every time you're doing it again and again, like yeah, it might eventually work, but you're kind of just giving your opponent more instances to where they can punish you because you're fishing for that one option. So like there, you know, you were falling and you wanted to get me away from you, so you were very concerned with like trying to hit me when you would get a chance. And that's one of those instances where maybe you should have just focused on getting out of there, right? Like take your hit or whatever, you know, you got hit once and then just go, okay, you know, I'm just going to work on retreating. Maybe I'll swap Squirtle and, you know, side me across the stage or something like that. Or maybe I'll Flail Blitz across the stage and be harder to catch. But you needed to get out of those scenarios because I was sitting right outside of your range waiting for you to commit to something or waiting for you to get into a spot where you couldn't really do anything. Part of when the way I look at when I'm in disadvantage and I'm at like that last hit kill percent scenario and my opponent's a low percent is like, look at what options your opponent has to kill you. Okay, Lucina's got a lot of attacks, doesn't have a lot of grabs. Her up throw wasn't going to kill Charizard at that point. So holding shield and kind of letting me, not flinching, not kind of picking that like, oh no, I gotta get out of here response and letting yourself kind of see what happens, evaluate. It's like, yeah, I could run and shield breaker you and all that, but that's, you know, that's a singular option that's gonna work. And if you have full shield, it won't necessarily work. You have time to potentially dodge, depending on what the startup of it is, things like that, right? So there are ways to get out of there. But if you just jump away the moment I catch you, you're kind of letting yourself fall into like a, I have to react just because he moved, and that's what I wanted. That's like why I ran forward and I reversed the up smash because like you're gonna jump forward, I think, right into this, and I want to make sure that I catch you with it. And that was me punishing you for that like scared response. So you want to try and fight that off and go, okay, what if I get grabbed, I'm not dead. So I can risk getting grabbed as Charizard right here. So maybe I'll hold shield and see if he hits me with something unsafe. Because if he hits me with something unsafe, if I'm close enough, I could try up smashing. I could try like not up smash. Up B. You know, you have things like that, so that you're able to mix those in. And then even if it's not something crazy safe, even if it's not something crazy safe. Or crazy unsafe, you can still just like jump away after I've hit you with something and you have time to get away, right? Or you can jump back, or you can roll or something. But you have to, a lot of it really does come down to like putting yourself as in control as possible and going, okay, I don't want to do this option just because it feels right or just because it's the quickest thing I can think of.
Definitely need to practice the backer thing more.
Yeah, it's way less committal and potentially just as good as the Flare Blitz. Because if you miss that Flare Blitz, it's bad news.
Yeah, you're dead.
Like, that's something you pull out like one time in a tournament when you're confident it's going to work or something like that. Because once you show that, they're never getting hit by it again probably. And like within a short-term session, you know?
Damn, that's nice.
So,
Yeah,
let me, I'm going to try switching characters just to see how you're handling other non-swordy stuff.
Okay.
Did you want me to go Olimar at all today?
I mean, it's definitely something I want to do again with you. I mean, if I'm allowed to, of course.
Okay.
But,
I mean, yeah, I definitely do like repeat lessons if that's what you're referring to, like multiple sessions. But that's fine. I can hold off if you do end up wanting me to go him. I'll do it. I'm gonna try Greninja. It's someone I like to play around with a lot. He's very like non-traditional in how he plays.
Mhm.
So I'll see how you handle this, because his shield pressure can be pretty good, but at the same time you can also kind of beat up on his shield a little bit more freely due to his pour out of shield game. So it'll be a bit easier than someone like LUCINA.
I don't think I've ever played an actual Greninja before. This is gonna be a new experience for me. I see what you mean by like waiting for the 2 down tilts.
Right, like you kind of give yourself time to adjust. Because you can't always react perfectly at the beginning of everything, but with characters that like to spam a lot of moves, like take like Roy down tilt, Roy jab for instance, right? It's like, yeah, that move is really good, it's really crazy. But like when they go for one after another, not only is that move kind of like, it's like medium, it's like high medium safe. Like it's not even like the safest, one of the safest moves in the game compared to something like a Mario back air or something. But it's also, they have to do the move. So if they are doing like down tilt or jab to jab, they have like -5 or whatever of the down tilt, plus another 7 frames or whatever of the next one, and that can give you time to adjust and find your punish. Because like yeah, in a vacuum, if they just down tilt you and then shield, it's safe if you try and punish. But if they try and do something else after that, is where it kind of comes into play. That's why moves like Rob down tilt are so like frustrating for a lot of people, because it's like a frame 3 move that's also -3, so the margin for punishing is very short. Oh. Okay.
I probably spam that move too much, but I mean like,
if it's working, like definitely don't be like you can't do something because you can't do something too much if it works, right? Just kind of recognize like every time it's working how they're reacting to it, so that when they're ready to finally switch it up, you're kind of ready for that.
I think like, my main use for that move is because I'm pretty sure it can cover both like normal get up and the roll. So like if I can do it, I can ditch and start jumping, and I can hit with an up air.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it's a great tool for ledge trapping.
On the platform.
No, that was a bit better though. I liked how you kind of waited on that down tilt initially with Greninja, and especially with someone like Ivysaur, because you could maintain like a very similar strategy as with Olimar too, where it's like you get hit once and you kind of you got to know what you're gonna get hit by, right? If you get hit by some super laggy option, feel free to let loose. But if it's that quick light option, that's where the mix-up comes. It's like, do I hold shield and let them attack again? Do I think they're gonna maybe go for a longer attack or a grab, and then I have time to punish potentially. So just recognizing those things is really important. And that's based off a lot of the time, like, how is your opponent what kind of player are they, how aggressive are they. You know, if it's like a really aggressive Roy player, they're going to mash on that shield a lot more than the defensive one, and that's going to give you more instances to try and find a punish window.
Like Squirtle is so like useless in this matchup.
I feel like Squirtle has a unique benefit in that you can kind of like, one, keep up with Greninja in some ways, but also just like pressure his shield really well, because Greninja has some of the worst out of shield game in the game, if not the worst. In terms of like counterattack options, it's mainly like he can run. Assuming he doesn't parry, of course. So that like with the Squirtle, those like F tilts and stuff are really dangerous because, or I don't want to say dangerous, but like rather safe, because he's probably not going to punish them a lot of the time. So you can try and outmaneuver him and then get some combo on him, and then you'll swap to, you know, Ivysaur and Charizard maybe a bit higher up or whatever, because Greninja's actually really easy to kill if you can hit him with like a good move early on.
Greninja's pretty light.
Yeah. I don't know how I did that, but that was not what I wanted.
Okay, just blame Lilat. I have such a hard time like mixing or like trying to predict what you're gonna do. I love going off stage and trying to edge guard, but obviously against someone like you, it's not gonna work a lot of the times.
So, if you're having trouble kind of figuring out what I'm going to do, that means you got to look inward and go, okay, well, what options am I trying to cover? Oh, I'm trying to cover if he goes here, here, here. But if I'm not going those options and I'm still getting back, then you got to kind of look at it and go, well, he's able to navigate this space a lot more careful, so maybe I should just either try and get out there a little bit earlier, like, you know, before I have time to really mix up my movement, but also just sometimes stay on stage and go, all right, let me just ledge trap him. Because if it's super risky to go off stage and you don't want to mess up, you don't want to get like caught or something, you know, it's just better to just wait. And then even then, like, if you don't always ledge trap, yeah, you want to do it, but sometimes it's fine to just reset back to neutral and be okay.
Oh, what did I got you?
Fourth, I might have actually killed, to be honest.
Yeah, that's how you wanted the platform, and I wanted to take it. I also like. I need to learn the like borders of each stage.
Oh yeah, yeah. Knowing like the blast zone size can help a lot.
Okay, there we go. Right there.
But I mean, like, keep in mind too, if you're not used to fighting Greninja, you're not gonna know like the best percents to which to kill him. Like, I'm sure if that was Mega Man or someone, you would have had a much better idea of like when Upto's gonna kill. And then when you're on something like Lilat or Yoshi's too, like those slants can like make a big difference. If you're ever so slightly lower, if you're ever so slightly higher, that's gonna get those kills much earlier.
Like I know that on Battlefield, like you would have been dead there.
Yeah.
Just because the platforms are a little bit higher, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And you would have been able to like get it consistently, but on Lilat, you gotta go, maybe forward throw would be there.
Okay, that's something I haven't thought about.
It's the same thing with Olimar too. It's like, yeah, up throw is like the go-to throw with Olimar, but forward throw is also really fast and kills very well if they DI wrong or they're right at the ledge of the stage. So then when you like grab someone there, you get a best of both worlds scenario where it's like, can I mix up their DI? And forward throw can arguably kill earlier than up throw in some cases if they DI it wrong or if they're at the ledge and stuff like that. So you get a little bit of room to mix it up.
Oh my god, what the? I was nuts.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
It's like you're sandbagging me now with some of these games. Finally got a hit.
Definitely gonna watch those rolls after you pressure, because it makes it really easy to like pivot grab fodder.
How do you mash? Do you move the control stick, or do you just kind of?
Sometimes I'll do both, but generally it's like buttons, because I use Pro Controller, so I really like the button layout for it. I know doing with Pro Controller the 4 shoulder buttons can be really good apparently, because you're able to hit like 4 buttons super quick.
Interesting. I'll try that. Cause I know, like, I like to just spin this, move in a circle.
Yeah.
But then I've noticed it messes my DFI sometimes.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I like the buttons better, because you just get more control. You don't want to accidentally like DI wrong or buffer some like really bad air dodge off or something like that.
For sure.
So, you know, that was a really stark contrast to the last game, right? Like, we play one game, you're like, all right, it's pretty close, pretty close. Next game, I come out swinging, and that was just me really, like, one, obviously, I put a little, like, I put more effort into it because I really wanted to, you know, try and crank it up a notch, but also just adjusting to how you were handling things. Like, I was ready to punish, you know, certain options from your Ivysaur a bit more. I was a bit more careful on how to handle your Charizard, because I think that last game was the first game with my Greninja, right? No.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might have been first. So it was like, you know, got some adjusting and really adapted to what you were doing, and I was ready to punish, and then that caught you off guard. And that's why even if you're winning, sometimes you still want to be ready to like slowly make adjustments to it so that you make it super. You don't want to let them just give them like a free pass to crack your code, right? It's kind of, you're winning, but then you're making little like, oh, what if I, you know, sprinkle a read in here and then punish them now and they're not ready for it.
So in this match, the blue Pikmin is like my best friend against your water type, right?
Yes and no. It's not like the best thing in the world, but it can be pretty good because things like neutral air and stuff won't always get a blue off. But it's not like the end of the world or anything that you would want it all the time. Purples are obviously really good because then you can kind of... Purples and yellows I find really good in this matchup because you can kind of just hit his shield for free.
Okay. I find myself not... like in the concept of just the purples having more range, that kind of always is like a turn away from me. But then when I'm starting to use them, I notice a lot of my moves that hit more.
Yeah.
So it's just something that like I think isn't gonna be good.
Well,
but then like
the range on purples is really only relevant for forward smash and down smash. Like your aerials are all the same. So you don't need to like worry about having less range there. And then up smash is pretty much the same as well. And they're much safer, which is why purple is so much better. Plus you get the purple side B, and that's like one of the biggest things for him.
In hindsight, I don't know if this is the best idea to go Olimar.
It's fine. I think this is an even matchup, to be honest. So, and what better way to learn than fight someone who knows how to fight Olimar?
Yeah, right. Okay. What the? If I missed the tech, is that just true?
Yeah, I can, yeah, down tilt you in there. You could also tech roll in and stuff. Like, say you have wisdom, except you don't always have to go for, like, the, tech in place. Yeah. Olimar's ledge hang is not very good, as you saw. Because his head kind of pops over. The thing, even just one game in with the Olimar, the things I'm noticing are, like, you're not doing a lot, I guess. And I don't want to make it sound like you always have to be pressing buttons and playing aggro, but it felt like you were rather, there was a lot of downtime in what you were doing, and that could have been just because, you know, you're still like really learning the character well, and you're trying to learn how to manage pick and do all that while you move.
Yeah.
But like the more stationary you are, the easier it is for someone to like run in and hit you. So if you're not ready to put up like a wall when they get close or kind of stop them with something, it's just gonna let them run all over you.
Definitely, I have like a lot to learn with this character, which is why I kind of like looked you up and then reached out to you.
Yeah.
I know you've gotten a lot of good results with him. I've only been playing him for like probably a week now or so.
Yeah, he's a character that takes a lot of time, so don't feel like you need to see immediate results, because he's, I think, a character that just takes a lot, and he has very high highs and low lows. So you'll get like a lot, the best of both worlds with him essentially. The more time you put into him. So with Olimar, since his grab is so slow, a lot of the times you want to use it not as like a close get off me option. Things like down tilt and jab are really good for that.
Yeah, I want to use his jab more, but it's something I don't really know how to do.
You just let it rip when you're up close, to be honest. It's his fastest grounded option. Hitbox on it's pretty decent. And it can honestly set up for really good tech chase scenarios and things like that. As well as just like get somebody off you really well. Same with down tilt, except jab is also much safer. Like his jab too, when it's spaced, is as safe as a purple up smash.
Counter's still out.
Yeah, his is oddly slow on startup, so it lasts for a decent amount. It can also counter the ticks of your Pikmin, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But when... How do I put it? Do you mind if I go Olimar one game to show you what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So, when I'm playing, like, when we're playing, I want you to try and pay attention to how, like, I'm covering multiple bases. Like, I don't just like stand there and stop and kind of let you do it. And that's something you can work towards with your Olimar, kind of thinking a step ahead essentially, or even more than that, right? Because you want to know what's going to happen after you do something, and that's one for your Pikmin, of course, but also just so how you can handle your opponent doing things. So it's like you throw one Pikmin and you'll know that it's like, okay, this might not necessarily be the safest, but I have to be ready to attack again right after because I don't have the fastest options. And that's why you'll see like a lot of Olimars, they'll attack and then they'll throw something out right after. And it's kind of like a just in case, as well as like a way to manage their Pikmin and cycle them.
Something I noticed that you were doing a lot that I've tried to like practice is you always attack out of your up B.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And I've like, you're also like hovering in a way, like hovering up to me.
Yeah, his up B, it's kind of like a third jump slash like omnidirectional hover.
Yeah.
It's super good. It's very important that you wanna like play around with that move, like just so you get a lot of control with it, because since Olimar doesn't have good speed normally, when you're off stage, that's kind of like a way to immediately get some extra mobility, or when, you know, you need to maneuver around an opponent. Yeah.
Does okay, if you have like 3 Pikmin versus 1, is it making your character heavier, or
No,
just like
no, that makes that only changes up B.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you see how I'm attacking there, and then I'm immediately going for something else, like, right after, because I don't want to let you just, like, freely punish me.
Do you almost use your purple as like a wall, so I can't like really get in?
Yeah, it's like a moving wall.
Oh my god, it obliterated my shield.
I tried to whistle that, but it doesn't matter.
Whistling like the whistle wall is also something I need to get better at. Cause I feel like I always like either whistle too late or too early.
Yeah, so one, I guess I'll touch down on the purple thing real quick now that we finished the game. Yeah, it's kind of like a moving wall because purple side B's actually your safest move out of everything he has, except for like last sour spot purple up smash or something like that. Like it's -6 at its safest, but that's like when you're doing it up close. Like if I throw it way ahead of time and then I get up there with it, it creates it to where it's just like a safe. It's just safe. Like it's a true block string because it'll hit you later after I throw it. I'm already out of lag, and then I can things like grab and stuff like that. So you can like throw them, and since they bounce off shields, you can pick them back up again. Do aerials with them. The aerials are rather safe, like fair and bear when you space them. So you get a lot of like ways to mix it up and a lot of leeway on how you can pressure, and your opponent has to respect them because, yeah, they can technically clank with the purples, but when you throw multiple, they can only hit one or something like that. And then they're gonna be, the other one's gonna be there, and you're gonna be there with the final move, right? So there's like ways that you can layer that pressure, or even when you're trying to play defensively, you can like keep them out one at a time, like throw one purple and throw another one, another one, another one, and if they're shielding them, it's like, you kind of.
Oh my god, that's so much shield damage.
Yeah, it's because I'm hit with both Pikmin.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So you wanna try and use the purples as like an extension of your character, almost like you're throwing you're like a swordy, and then you're able to throw your sword.
Okay.
Oh, I had to see it. But for whistle, yeah, it's so since the armor's frame 2 through 7, you kind of want to do it right as the move's about to hit. I'm just slightly too far with that. You want to do it right as the move's about to hit, because if you wait too long, you're gonna get hit. And too early, like it's possible, but just pretty much do it right as the move's about to hit you. And I know on Wi-Fi it's a bit harder, but it's something you get with time as well. Like right there, how I knew you were just going to keep going for that grab. And I was like, let me just keep playing around with him. Let me sit right outside of his range. Let him whip things like that.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd probably just go for a like a neutral B, Flame Breath.
You could, yeah. Honestly, just mix it up. Make it harder to punish.
I think 2 more questions I have before the Olimar match, or playing Olimar at least. Is I've noticed that like especially when playing like a Mega Man, like he's always gonna like use his up B to make it so when I come down I have to jump. And then just in general, I always feel like I'm in like a disadvantage of. I have to like other players get those invincibility frames that just come down and
I mean,
like attack, but Olimar has to always like pull the Pikmin first.
You don't always have to pull 3, mind you. And if you do, you can act pretty fast out of it. Like grabbing Pikmin isn't the most, like plucking one isn't the most committal thing. It takes like 9 frames before you can act again. So it's definitely like you need to do it as you come down from your stock, but it's not the end of the world. I honestly just wouldn't worry too much about it. Like just, yeah, you're gonna have to do it, but it's fine. Just pretty much leave the platform, fast fall, and then try and pluck them. Sometimes you can just pluck one and go punish. Sometimes you can, pluck none and then punish. Sort of ledge. Sometimes you can, you just run down. Maybe you'll run down and like dash attack and then pluck someone. Like you can mix it up like that. It's just on average you're gonna pluck your Pikmin. And if you're fighting like a Mega Man and they're just dropping their spring, just drift to the left or right. It's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. We could do one more game to wrap it up, and then I'll give you my closing thoughts. So that sounds good.
For sure. just stops my withdrawal every time.
Yeah.
Oh, I killed. Bad DI, I think.
Probably, yeah. Like you saw how I used my up B there on that first time I was off stage. It's like I'll drift you. Like you can't come out there and catch me unless you heavy overextend or something like that. And even then, I'll probably be able to get out of there in time.
I can't even recover when you have it on me. Nice, good parry.
So I think your Pokemon Trainer is definitely better. The two characters, you're just much more comfortable with Pokemon Trainer in general. I think for them, you got to watch out on when you're in disadvantage. Not always feeling like you got to come down with an attack. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to catch someone unless they're right up on you. Like, yeah, if I was like a fox and I got to fall on top of you or something, then yeah, you could try it. But then, then you might not even have the timing to do it. So just sometimes neutral air dodging, swapping Pokemon, going to ledge, those are going to be a lot better than just falling with an attack, because you have to recognize the scenarios in which case you won't even be attacking in the first place, and that kind of goes back to the general theme of your problems and overall, where it's like you have to take the initiative to be aware of what's happening, be cognitive, and be ready to like punish everything on your own or mix it up, fight those nerves. It's kind of the more you get in control mentally, and the more you can go, all right, let me see how I can read the situation. It's going to be better for you, and that's what I want you to practice when you're playing in the future. It's just like when you're fighting someone on stream, try and calm yourself down. Just focus on the game. If you mess up, go, all right, it happened. Let me focus on the next part of the match. Like, it doesn't matter if I messed up. It's already passed, right? Worrying about it's not going to change anything. And the more calm you get, the more your play is going to just like streamline out. And then also just when you're in the disadvantage, you'll do the same thing, making sure not to fish for those like back throw flare blitzes too much. You can still go for those, but mix them up. That's why they're a mix-up, because you catch them off guard. So you can come down and you can play your game just fine, but maybe on their last stock or their middle stock, that's when you can try it when they're not expecting it.
Yeah, that works. All right.
And then with Olimar, I think you just need to keep playing him more. Everything with him really comes with time and a lot of dedicated effort. You have to play him, but when you play him, you have to put a lot of effort into understanding, like, when do I want to use certain Pikmin, making sure to watch my own Pikmin, paying attention to the little details, because he's a character that will punish you for not having that advanced awareness about him. Yeah. So just keep playing him, if you're ever curious about why you're losing, really try and look at that game you just lost, maybe save the replay and go, okay, what happened there? And then you'll watch the disadvantage and you'll go, oh, well, I tried to down air there and then I got hit, and then I tried to down air again, and then I tried to air dodge. It's like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have down aired in the first place, but when I did after that, oh, maybe I could have up B'd and then air dodged the second time and baited them out, or maybe I could have neutral air dodge instead of directional air dodge. And the more you look at it, the more you're going to go, okay, this is a lot of it's on me, because I'm giving them these essentially free punishes by committing first or committing to that thing that's really easy to punish. Okay. You have any last minute questions?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Okay.
Again, if I think of anything, I'm probably gonna have to do more sessions with you, just because this was really fun.
Okay.
And it's definitely stuff that I've learned. And if I think of anything, I'll just shoot you then at the start of the next.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. All right, I will talk to you later, man.
Thank you, Martin. Have a good day, man.
You too.